Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy BLS, and we're back with another BLS Talks. Today we have Callow. If you didn't watch last episode, it'll be down in the description. Basically, what it is every stream I pull a viewer from the chat, boom, in the Discord. They're able to ask me questions, and that's that. So today we got Callow. He's got some questions loaded up for us, so let's see what you got.
All right. So first question. What makes you want to stream?
Okay, that's a good question. The thing I find in streaming, well, see, the thing is I love video games. I've been playing video games since, I remember playing Nintendo and all that back in the day. So I've always been a person who plays video games like nonstop. It's just something that I've always done. I gravitated towards Call of Duty in junior high, but before that it was like Guitar Hero and Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that. I played Sonic back in the day and Super Mario, but especially it's like one of those things is like I can just like get lost in the video game and not think about the problems that I have in the real world. So I play so much video games, it's like, you know what, might as well stream it, right? Like I play so much, it's just like, you can turn it to a career. It's very hard to turn it into a career, but like regardless if I was streaming or not, I would still be playing video games because I don't have anything else to do with my life. Like I could sit and watch Netflix, but like why not be a little productive and try to turn it into something that bigger than it can be and just stream it. So that's why I do it.
That was a good answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so you brought back the old, you referenced COD. So let's talk about that. What's your favorite game that you've ever grinded?
Wow. I really wish that I was a little older and better at Modern Warfare 2. Before I started, I think I got my Dazzle when Modern Warfare 2 was around, and it was when like Predator came out, and Predator was like he was it. Like everybody was like started sniping me because of him. So that's when I was like, all right, I gotta buy a Dazzle, yada yada yada. A year later, I got a PVR, but I grinded the piss out of MW2. I used to do GBs on COD 4, which was fun, but it was red guns. I used to do it with my homie Joel. And then I'd say the hardest I've ever grinded, like put in time, daily time, was Black Ops 2 during Phase 5. I was playing probably 8 hours a day and then spending 2-3 hours of that editing. So like 10 to 12 hours a day of grinding Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 was like the moment where I was like, all right, I'm good enough, I can do something with this, let's try it. So I'd say Black Ops 2 is it, but I played the shit out of Modern Warfare 2 big time.
And that's where all Phase 5 happened too. Yeah,
Black Ops 2. Yeah, that's when I remember that I was on 180 days uploading straight. So that's 8 to 10 hours straight, like 8 to 10 hours a day minimum for 180 days. And that's a lot of time. So, and that was weekends, that was holidays, that was everything. Like I was still doing that. Like on Christmas, I'd wake up, open my gifts, eat, and I'd go upstairs and play Call of Duty for 8 to 10 hours. Like that's what I did, I was so bad that no one really knows this, that I was so bad when I think it was Modern Warfare 2 was out and I started recording with the PVR. I was like, dude, I know I'm good enough because I was way better than all my friends. So I was like, we were doing like 1v1 Rust and stuff, so I was like, I'm pretty good at the game. I had a moped when I was in high school, and we were allowed to leave for lunch. I'd go home and have a quick sandwich, and I would play an hour of Call of Duty while I was at lunch. So
okay, that was a good answer. That was a really good answer. All right, so I know this question, like I know the answer to this.
Okay.
But just like looking for like other people that like maybe new viewers and stuff that you've like gained from Fortnite.
Okay.
What does BLS stand for?
Okay, that's a good question because a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people know me as B Hizzy. When I changed my name, I changed it a week ago, I think, a week or two ago. I've had people come in and like, why'd you change your name? And they really don't know. So that is a good question for the newer people who have came in. So BLS stands for Bobley Swagger, and it's from my favorite movie that is starred by my favorite actor, Mark Wahlberg. It's like one of those movies. It's like I can't remember what it was. It's like, you know how Dish had the recording things back in the day where you could record the shows?
Little DVR.
Yeah. I made sure I had that, and it was so bad that I put my own personal password on it so my parents couldn't delete it. I probably watched that movie probably over 50 times. And it is like one of those things, it's like, you know what's happening, but it still like makes you feel so good. And like, the reason I chose BLS is because I was like, you know, I went through names like Oxy and Yogi, all those names, but BLS in that movie, he's literally known as the greatest sniper. And at the time, that's what I was trying to be, as a sniper. I didn't really start hardcore trick shot. Like, I trick shot on Ep.2. Who didn't, right?
Yeah.
And I was a sniper. Like, that's what I would categorize myself as. But I think as I figured out what shooter was, the movie, I was like, BLS is the greatest sniper that ever lived. Like, he does insane stuff, and when you watch the movie, you can tell like he's a super badass. Like, just whatever he does, he's a badass. And so I was like, okay, I searched it up and nobody was BLS, pulled the trigger on it, and it rings, it like rolls off the tongue nice. So it's like, oh, that's a dope name. As far as all the names that I've chose, BLS is by far the best name, and I don't really know why I like went away for it. If I would have like stayed with it, it'd probably be in a better position than I am now, but shit happens. And you know, BLS is just, it's it, you know. And it's like, it's so cool because like no one really calls me that in person. Like, the reason I went to Be Hizzy is because like I can go home right now to a party and everybody be like, yo, what up, Be Hizzy? Like, that's why it was so natural for me to hear Be Hizzy. But TwitchCon was definitely an eye-opener when I literally, all the FaZe guys, Replays and Thieves and Agony and Gwit, all those guys were, I mean, I didn't have to introduce myself. They're like, BLS, like, what is up, dude? Like, so it was really cool.
Throwback
Big time.
So Be Hizzy was pretty much, that's when I noticed when you started more branding yourself around your music and you started to producing like more music and like on like your other channel, that's when you started using Be Hizzy more.
I've been thinking about it, and I think that if I actually did make actual music, it sounds corny, but I would probably use Be Hizzy. That's probably like the alter ego that I can use for the music side. Like the streamer side is BLS, but if you want to dip into my music, you can go to Be Hizzy, and I think that's probably the road I'm gonna go down.
That's the next question. What made you feel like, okay, I'm good enough with this rapping thing, like I'm good enough like producing like music on my own? Like, you were probably one of the first people I've ever seen put a FaZe response of you rapping. What made you like think like, okay, this is new, this is different? Okay,
that's a good question. It's kind of, here's the thing. I'm like, I've always said that no matter what, I would 100%, I know for a fact, I would probably be dead right now if it wasn't for music. All the people that I listen to have helped me through hard times. Every time I'm feeling down or whatever, I can literally just turn on like Russ, John Billion, Mike Stud, Logic, like MGK, like all those people that I used to listen to back in the day, Lil Wayne. Like, whenever I hear a Lil Wayne song, like your dog could die and you'd be like sad, but if I turn a Lil Wayne song on, I'm not gonna be like not turning up to it. So my first song that I ever wrote was a McDonald's drive-through rap, and the funny thing is like, I found out that I could actually write music then, but then when it comes to the Phase 5, you know, I know for a fact that there was zero people that were playing Call of Duty that were actually doing that. And I know they were saying, you know, you need something original, you need this, you need that. And I've already released songs prior to that. And, you know, it's weird when you have like 50-year-old mothers coming up to you and be like, hey, Brad, I heard your song. That's really good. Like, I think you can make it. Like, I'd be sitting down at dinner, and I know one lady, I'm friends with her daughter and her son. And every time she sees me, she's just like in love, because she's like, oh my gosh, how's the music going? Are you doing anything with it? Like, she loves it. So like, when they said they wanted something original, I was like, okay, nobody raps about video games. Nobody raps about shit they do in video games. And I had a vision of being able to kind of two birds one stone is like, you know how like it's hard to get copyright music for your montages. Well, you can't be copyright when you're the one that's actually making the music, right? It's like they're gonna copyright you, but like you're like, I am that person, so you can't copyright me. So in the future, like let's just say, 2 years down the road I join FaZe, right? My goal is never to use anybody else's songs. I want to be able to make the montage, grind, make that, and then be like, okay, I have 40 clips. Here it is. I'm going to make a song now. Make a song, and it's literally only you. And I probably think there's probably 10 people right now off the top of my head that could do that, but I feel like I could do it the best. So the Phase 5 thing, it was just something that I tried and it ended up popping. Honestly, it was just random. I was like, I wonder if people think that I'm good on the internet, and it really, like, they thought I was good. So I don't regret it at all, because it literally was like, so it felt so good for me to be able to write my own music. I didn't make the beat, obviously. I always get my beats off YouTube because I'm a nerd, but writing your own music and having people come to it. And the fact is like, I can write about real stuff, but I can write a song about how I destroy people in Fortnite in 20 minutes and have it out. Like, so when I'm rapping about video games, I played so much and I experienced so much of it, it's easy to me. So I think the Phase 5 thing was just like, this is so OG, nobody else does it, they need something different, and that's where it came from.
I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. Anybody listening, if y'all want to go listen to some throwback music, Daydreamers and Prom Queen, probably one of like my two favorite songs that really? I used to snipe on BL2 and Free For All and just have it on repeat.
It's funny because I literally just had a guy DM me on Twitter, and he was like, yo, it took me like 2 months to find your Twitter, but I just want to let you know, like, the amount, I'll actually read it right now. I'm gonna read the exact thing he just said. He said, just want to let you know, I've been trying to find your updated Twitter of yours, and your song Dreamers that you made back in 2014 has brought back so many memories from back in the day. I used to have that song on repeat while playing COD and still listen to it here and there today. Your song was like my early teen years. Thanks, bro. Like, someone just DM'd me that like, that's crazy, 10 minutes ago. So like, and it's not you, I know that for 100%. So, and someone actually just DM'd me that, so it was really funny that that you brought that up, because the old school songs, I mean, like, those were like my therapy. Like, I was going through hard times. I mean, I didn't really have any friends in high school, so I was playing Call of Duty, and then I would be like, you know what, I'm kind of feeling down, kind of feeling some way, wrote a song about it.
Yeah, especially Prom Queen. It said a lot in the song if you actually like listen to it. And that's when I realized, I was like, he could really go somewhere with like the music thing. I wrote that in
probably 4 hours.
Yeah.
So that was the person who I actually wrote that song about is my best friend now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny because that's when I wrote that song. He heard it, he was mad, we talked about it, bam, best friends. Like, it was like weird how it happened, but yeah, I live with him now, so it's funny that you mentioned that. Yeah, it's funny how shit happens.
All right, this is gonna be targeted towards like younger people, but
okay.
How did your parents feel when you were spending 8 to 10 hours a day? You were spending, even when you were still like more mature. Like, how did you talk to them and tell them, hey, look, I can do this if I really put myself to it?
I have to give a big shout out to my parents for this, because at first the thought of, I mean, we grew up in the era of online gaming. That wasn't a thing in the 2000s, that really wasn't. It started like the late 2000s, it became something, but the fact that my mom always pulled the trigger, I was like, how do you know you're not playing with some 40-year-old creepy rapist stalker dude? And I'm like, if you want to, you can like come and hang out. Like, all the kids that I play with are my age. So that's not really a thing now, because online gaming is such a normal thing now. So people don't really be like, oh, you're playing with some creeper, or who you're playing with. You're not gonna like it's not like you go into a lobby and you're with like some pedophile. Like, you choose who you play with. It's not like Call of Duty where you go into a random game and you're just talking to random people. That's still around, but I don't think it's as bad. But how busy I was during my early years, my dad really just sat me down. He's like, if you want to play video games all the time, I don't really care. And but you need to be productive. You need to get good grades. And I played so much sports in high school. He didn't care. I mean, I played soccer in the fall. I was on the bowling team in the winter, and I golfed in the spring. And then during the summer, I played travel soccer. So I was so busy, I was still finding time to do that, and he didn't mind as long as I was still getting good grades and playing sports and not getting lethargic with it. In high school, he really enjoyed it because I had a lot of friends that switched over and started doing drugs a lot, not smoking weed. They were doing pills and stuff like that. So you know, he was so perfectly fine because he was like, okay, let's look at this. The friends that I grew up with and he coached in high school were doing drugs. They were like getting in trouble with the law. And he's just kind of just took a step back and was like, okay, my son's not doing that. Like, he's at home. Like, if I want to see him, I can go upstairs and he's going to be sitting right there. He's not getting in trouble. So it's like it's a more of a positive thing than it was a negative thing for him. So he was I wish you'd, like, there were some nights where I didn't eat dinner with him and he wishes I did that, but he was just happy that I was home playing video games instead of out being in trouble. And then
I feel like that's one of the biggest things. It's like, especially with gaming and stuff, like, it saves so many people. Like, people don't realize, like, when you game, like, you could be depressed, you can be anything. I don't care what anybody says. When you get in that game and you see, like, your buddies on and y'all join up and y'all start talking, you forget about everything else.
Everything, yeah, that's what it is. It's a big time therapy thing for me. I mean, I work at a high stress job. I mean, there's things that I've seen that really mess with me. There's things that no person my age, I don't think you want to see stuff like that. And the amount of work that we have to do every day, it's like you're nonstop going. So you can't sit. When I come home, I get to sit down and realize, and try to relax, but it's like I can't. Once I hop in a Fortnite game, bam, everything goes away. It's just like, it's like I totally just shut down, and it's just like my mind is just totally free of everything. So it's a big therapy thing for me, big time.
Yeah. So if a lot of people don't know this, like, you took a break for a little while, and then this is when you were still on console. You invested, you put a lot of money into your PC and stuff,
right?
And then you started coming back. What made you want to come back?
When I took my break, I was still playing video games and stuff like that. The bad thing about not actually displaying your explaining your game on YouTube or Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff like I do now is the feedback. I have a weird obsession with feedback, positive or negative. I think it's when I get more IRL feedback than I do on the internet. I'll upload a video on my Instagram, and then 2 months later I'll go be eating at a restaurant and someone will, like, not here but my hometown where it's real small and everybody knows, and someone will come up to me and be like, bro, I don't even know how you do that stuff. Like, you're like stupid good at the game. How do you do that? And I'm just like, yo, I can tell you, just come watch my streams. I think the feedback is a huge thing for me, and that was the reason I kind of quit, because when I was getting stupid feedback, I was getting like 10,000 views a video. That's a lot. Oh, yeah. That's a lot. And like, you know, I always like to read, like, now I don't really look at my views anymore, just because it's a mental thing that I'm like knowing that I'm not getting 10,000 views and it will mess with me. So I don't really look at that, but I still go look at comments, and I enjoy reading the comments, and I enjoy replying to comments, and the feedback is a huge thing for me, regardless if it's positive or negative. So I think the reason that I came back, invested in the computer, I didn't ever think that I would be the PC world would be at what it was now, but I was playing Counter-Strike and H1Z1 and just chilling with my friends. But then now that I'm back into it, like, I'm definitely feeling it again, you know?
Yeah, the old Counter-Strike gambling.
Yep.
I don't know how many more questions do you want me to ask?
You can ask probably like 3 more questions. That's fine.
All right. So you said you played soccer. How long did you play soccer for?
Oh my goodness. I've been playing soccer since I could walk. It was one of those things. I played every sport. I played football, pee-wee football. I played soccer. I played baseball, basketball, golf, everything. My dad put me in everything because he wanted to give me a taste of everything to see what I was good at. I was best at soccer easily. I was an average player. It's not like I was like a superstar, but I was good enough, and I was so fundamentally good that I was able to compete at a high level. And what is this? Someone just posted it in. Good Lord, Quancy. Anyways, I started playing soccer when I could walk. It was almost everything. Like, my dad has videos of me playing, like, as soon as I could walk, like, having a ball and a bat on, like, a little tee and doing that. And I had, like, one of those mini little basketball goals. Like, everything. As soon as I could walk, he just bought all that stuff, and I played it. So I started playing rec soccer in the local league when I was about 4. They had that small little, I don't even know what they call it anymore, but we played that as like 6-on-6. And then when I was 8, that's when it stepped up big time. We started traveling, and that was like, we were traveling like 5-6 hours away max to play in tournaments, and then that kind of gradually went up, and then I got in junior high, and I was still playing travel, and then I went to high. Like, I've been playing soccer forever. So I started playing when I was about 4, and I quit playing when I was probably about 17, 18, 19. Because when I was 19 after graduated, I was still in I was in indoor leagues and men's leagues, like all that. So I kind of quit when I moved to Michigan for work, and I had to start like a real life. So I haven't played since, but if I had the opportunity to join a men's league and had time to it, I would do it 100%.
Yeah, that's crazy, because like you talked about how like you had so many viewers and stuff, and I remember like being one of those kids in the comments. Like I was always trying to like, keep going, bro, keep going. And I remember right when you announced that you wanted to take a break and that you were kind of done with the whole, like, you had to focus on like real life stuff to like build up your income so you can invest in other stuff.
Right.
I was like, everybody was like leaving, like, oh, he's quitting, and I was like, I'm gonna support you through whatever, because you started like, that's when you started really making music and stuff too.
Yeah,
and that's when you fully switched to Be Hizzy, and everybody was like, what is this?
I was gonna push that hard until like I was knee deep in it, and I was like, I'm really not that good at writing. I'm not a person who is good at expressing their feelings. I can do it somewhat over songs, but like I'll never. I was like, dude, I was like literally like set on making a mixtape, releasing it, shooting music videos, all that stuff. Like I was gonna do that, and I could still probably do that now. Just about how the amount of songs that I have wrote right now is actually stupid. I could probably do it. It's just like sometimes I start writing a song, I get unmotivated from doing it, which happens. You know, it happens to everybody. Yeah. And then 2 months later, I can come back on it and continue the story or speak on what I was going on. But yeah, when I took a break, I was pushing that hard. But it just, when I was really, when you just 99% focus on that, you realize how hard it actually is, and you may be fit for it, or you may not be, you know, vice versa. But yeah. I definitely wasn't fit for just spending all my time, because it wasn't getting the satisfaction that I need when I find in video games. Like I could write half a song and I still feel like shit after writing the song. Well, I can play video games and I feel good when I go to bed. So yeah, that's that.
So you were still in high school when you started to blow up, right? Like when you started to like really gain a fan base?
I was in college. Okay. And I got a lot of hash from people in college. Yeah. It was crazy. That's what I was gonna ask, because
how the feedback was like in person.
The fact that here's the thing, no matter how much hours I put in, I still got good grades. I found ways around stuff, but I was still knocking. I mean, I wasn't like on the dean's list or anything, but I was still getting A's and B's and stuff like that. There's a few college courses that were hard for me, but it was funny to see their feedback, because I had my major classes, my biomed classes that I was in, and those guys, or the electronics and the biomed, had their early classes together, and then the second year you find out where you go. Well, the first year it was like they were watching my videos in class and laughing about it, because I was like doing cut comms and telling stories and stuff, and they weren't laughing with me. They were like, this kid's a fucking loser. So I was like, you know, whatever. It was funny because it was my second year, and I was only getting like 100 views then when they were watching those. So I always just said, you know, made them think I was like, you know, I get paid for views, so thank you for your view. That's like what I say. I was like, you know, you guys might be laughing at me, but you just gave me money. So that's what I usually said on them. But the feedback first year was negative. Second year was totally like turn the table. It was like I was getting like 5,000-10,000 views. Because you know, they kept up with it. They kept watching it because they would need something else to make fun of me. And when I started getting, you know, a couple thousand views, it was like a whole new ball changer. And they're like, dude, like, how are you getting so many views? And I'm like, dude, I'm good at the game. What do you mean? Then it was like, oh, can I play with you? And I was like, there it is. I
bet that was the case with Fortnite a lot too.
Yeah, and I was just like, this was during Phase 5. I mean, I was getting like famous people follow me on Twitter. Rain was following me on Twitter. Adapt was following me on Twitter, and they were seeing stuff like that, and they were like, what the hell? Like, how? Like, you're just you. Like, why are you the one that's getting big on YouTube and not me? And I was like, well, you don't play Call of Duty for 8 hours a day. And they were like, oh, we can beat you and yada yada. And I proved that wrong. And it was bad. And then it was just like one of those things that was like, dude, last year, like, you were bashing me for this, and now you want to be like all buddy? Like, nah, dude, get out of here. So like, after my second year, I didn't see any of those guys again, and I went my third year, and I had to finish a few classes, and then that was basically it. But the IRL feedback is definitely way worse when it comes to being like, when you get negative feedback IRL. It's definitely way worse because like, you go to school, like, you don't want to hear about like some shit you said in a video or anything like that. It's kind of like if I went to work and they were making fun of me at work, it would make it an unfun place for me to be. I wouldn't want to go to work when people are like, oh yeah, I watched your video and it was shit. I get positive feedback from work because people at work, low key, like, I tell them, I'm like, I can't stay over today, I have to stream. Like, they understand that, and they know that I have a different life outside of work, and they watch the videos. And there's people, hospital employees, that are like, there's one lady who literally like listens to my music. She's heard my Fortnite raps, and they're talking about, as a joke, printing out a picture of me and having me give her the picture and autograph it because she wants it that bad. So I'm getting nothing but positive feedback now, like IRL. Even on the internet, I'm not really getting any negative feedback. So the feedback and all that was definitely worse in college than it is now, but it's getting a lot better now.
All right, I have two questions that kind of tie together, and this will be my last question, so I got to make it good. But this will probably be the hardest one too. Okay. So, where do you see yourself in 6 months? Whew. And if you could give one tip of advice to others, people that are trying to like get where you're at and like keep growing, what would it be? Okay, so let's answer the first one first because I'll probably forget the second one. All right. What do I see myself in 6 months? It's kind of hard because I don't have. It's like you know, you write it out what you want to be on a chalkboard, right? That's what you want to be. You're not gonna get a time frame on it. You're not gonna say, you know, I'm not gonna write down in 2 years I'm gonna be in phase. It might be 10 years. It might be 2 months. Like, I might blow up tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? As far as if I had to actually put myself where I was in 6 months, I don't think I would change much, just because nothing new's coming out. I'm not really doing anything new on YouTube. I might grow a little bit, but as far as what I'm kind of restarted with the BLS, so I'm starting from the ground up. I just see me progressing a little bit, maybe having 20 average viewers. I would like to be in a year from now, I would like to be a partner. That's probably one goal that I have, because when I go to TwitchCon next year, I absolutely want to be a partner. It's like one of those things. It's like when people see you walking around with affiliates badge, they're not really interested. But I walked around with like Dine and Replays. When some, like, you can see them look at your badge and it shows that you're a partner, and you know you get a lot more clout for having a partner. You get a lot more benefits from being a partner. So I don't really have a 6 month goal, but I say my year goal is to be a Twitch partner. Maybe join a team. I don't really see any teams being big teams that I want to join. Like, if I had to put if I had to say the teams that I'd join, it's going to sound like a lot, but I would join 100 Thieves. They're making big moves.
Optic gaming. I've always been a fan of Optic way before like FaZe is even a thing, right? So if Optic gaming, I think Hex and that whole organization is dope. I would even move to Chicago to be in Optic gaming. SOAR would be cool. I don't know that they're not really. I know I hung out with a lot of SOAR people. I mean, I was with Mac one day, and then I hung out with a couple of the competitive players and a couple of the streamers. But
especially with Dine and stuff.
Yeah, and then obviously FaZe is just like the ultimate goal, in my opinion. But I have goals written down for my 2018, and I'll read them off for you. So this is what I came back from TwitchCon, and I wrote these down on the board. And so the goals were, I've already achieved 2 of them, so which is pretty good. I have 5 of them. First one's change your name back to BLS, which I end up doing that. Rebrand for Twitch, which I end up doing that. And then the other 3 is to scrim as much as possible, win a couple Bebo tournaments, and then participate in the winter skirmish. That's my 2018 goals, and I have 2 months to do that, so we'll see how it goes.
It's crazy that you just like mentioned that, is because I remember going to your channel like back in the day, if I'm not mistaken, like looking at your bio and it had your goals in it, and that like inspired me to like, okay, I'm gonna set goals and I'm gonna see how many I can achieve by the time like a certain time. Like you helped me like a lot with a lot of stuff. Like
that's dope.
There was a lot of stuff going on with like soccer. I play soccer too. I've played it my whole life, and I was injured. Like I completely I tore my MCL, and I was out for a while, and that's all I was doing was like watching your videos, and like I was trying to make cut comms too. I was trying to do what you were doing. Like I was like in your shadow, like trying to like mock what you're doing. And that's one thing that I was like that's how I know like a lot of this stuff like about you, is because like I've been here since like the beginning, like since like I remember the first day you followed me on Twitter. I was like literally I made a whole video about it on my channel, got like 50 views, you liked it and everything, and I flipped out.
That's
funny. I was like bragging to like IRL friends, and they were like, who is this kid, who are you talking about? And I'd be listening to yours. I get the aux cable with my mom in the car, and I put on your song, and she'd be like, who is this? And I was just like, I felt disrespected because they didn't know who you were.
It happens,
but like,
though, 'cause I'm so small.
And it's crazy, dude. Like you've impacted like a lot of us, a lot of people that maybe like aren't really in the scene anymore. That like maybe kind of took a break away from gaming, because I know a lot of people like the COD players, like they kind of all, if they didn't go to Fortnite, they just went somewhere else and just kind of do their own thing now.
I think that's another big reason that I do music and then I do streaming. I'm invested in streamers that I can relate with big time, and I go to sometimes I go to their streams and just chill and watch. But inspiring people or helping people out, just like, I don't know if you ever heard of Gary V. You ever heard of him? No?
Yeah. Wait, what'd you say?
Have you ever heard of Gary V?
No.
Okay. Well, you have to look. I mean, super cool dude, big entrepreneur. He owns a media company. He inspires me to grind every day and to get to where I want. But he also says, like, the setting goals that we were talking about, you got to set realistic goals. You got to know who you are. You got to know if you're actually good at it, if you're capable of doing it. But I think the way he inspires me, all the people who I watch my stream, I want them to be inspired in the same way.
Yeah.
And be able to do what they want.
Tweeted about the other day, right?
Yeah, and I was in his
Mug Life.
Yep,
yeah.
That's him. Yeah, yep, that's him. So like,
that's awesome.
I think it's a cool thing to be able, someone like, it's almost like I'm like, when someone comes in here so often, it's almost we become like friends over the end.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure. I really believe that too.
And it's not like one of those things. It's just like, it's a viewer. Like, I have people come in and just be like, I don't even know what they look like, how old they are, like where they're from. They could be from Australia or Germany, whatever. And they come in and they connect with me, and they watch every day, and I learn about them and they learn about me. And that's what kind of this series is going to be like, somewhat.
Yeah.
That's not the big picture, but yeah, that's pretty cool. What was the other question that I knew I would forget it?
What was it? Oh yeah. If you could give one tip of advice to like people that are trying to be like you, what would it be?
Okay. I'm gonna pull some Gary V straight out on you. The first thing you have to do is have self-awareness. If you're let me elab on that. If you are let's just say, dumb it down. If you're a sniper and you can't titty neck, like you don't be a trick shotter. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a sniper.
Exactly.
Be a sniper. Don't be that. So like if you're if you're a streamer and you can nonstop entertain, I know I don't do it. I got to get better on it. Nonstop entertain, being interactive with the chat. If you can do that and you know you can do that and you're like have the time and dedication to do it, I would do that. As far as I mean, there's so much things that going into it, but there's a lot of luck. There's a lot of luck. Oh, yeah. Everything that you have in life is going to be about who you know.
Oh yeah, and especially with like entrepreneurship.
Yes, I mean
connections are everything.
Connections, yeah. I mean, if you don't have any connections, I mean, man, you're not gonna make it anywhere. Honestly, like you got to get yourself out there. You have to, man. And if you don't get yourself out there, then you're not gonna make it anywhere. But you have to be consistent. You have to do it every day. I get 5-6 hours of sleep usually a day. So if you're sleeping 10 hours, what are you gonna like? I can survive off 5 or 6. So take those 4 and go towards your dream. Doesn't matter what it's doing. I don't care if you want to have a lemonade stand every morning for 4 hours. Do it. So I guess if I had a message, is just like be consistent. Be yourself, which is the self-awareness thing. Yeah. And then just be original. Try to find you could suck at 10 million things, but there's going to be one thing that you're really good at. It may not be playing video games and streaming. Like I said, you might be a bomb-ass lemonade stand salesman. Like you might do that. Like who knows? Like you could have like a food truck and you have your famous lemonade on it and you make like, $100K a year. Do it, and I guess that's the big message. That's the bigger picture that people have to look at, because a lot of people are like, they watch me or they watch Tfue or they watch this or watch Hamlins and they're like, oh my gosh, like I want to be like him, like I can do that. But you got to think, I'd always say lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice. Exactly. That's why you can't be Tfue, you can't be Hamlins, you can't be Ninja. All the stuff that they've done, it's already been done. You got to move, you got to find something else. So that's what the music thing came to, is like nobody was doing music. I had to create my own buzz, and that's where the music came from. So
yeah, I feel like that's what really separated you from like a lot of these like other and I know like even when like I noticed, like I watched your channel go from you were getting so many views, you were like the feedback was ridiculous, and then I watched you just like slowly stop, like the consistency, like you said, it slowly stopped being consistent. But then like when you started again, you are like I was right there. I was first stream. I was in there. I guarantee you pull up like your first 15 streams. I was in every single one of them, and you were always like, "What's up, Kello? What's up?"
Yeah.
And the first time, right when you got your sub button, and like right when you started like really like started like actually like being consistent. I like you were the first person I ever subbed to. I didn't sub to Ninja. I didn't sub to none of them. I subbed to somebody who like I knew appreciated it a lot more. Than, it's not just another thing. Like I wanted you to know that like I'm willing to invest in you, right? So you can like you have some like you have people behind you. Like you have a lot of people that are like that really do look up to you. That's the thing, and sometimes I think like, why don't I have more? But when you step back and look, like, well, look what I actually have. I actually have those 5 or 6 that are consistent.
It could be one. It could be you. Like you could be the only person. It's like you gotta do it for yourself. But there's also people out there that are really relying on you, and so that weighs on me big time. It's like, I could not stream tonight, but I know somebody's gonna be fucking pissed that I'm not streaming tonight. Like there's people that wake up in the morning and they're like, I can't wait to go home from school to watch Brad stream. Like people are like that, and you gotta think about it in that perspective. Like if you're gonna have people who are like, I can't wait till Callow uploads a video, or I can't wait to, whatever. It's like there's going to be people like that. And I have a lot of people that are like that. And I never take any of that for granted, because I used to not have nothing. I didn't have any consistent viewers, and now I have consistent people all the time.
Yeah, I feel like you've grown so much even since I like started watching you on Twitch too. I remember you used to get those solid like 2-3 viewers.
Right, yeah. I mean,
and now you're getting like a higher consistency, like. But we were always in there, like me and those other couple viewers were all making friends with each other. Like we were all, like we were learning more about each other while we were watching you. It kind of like, And it's crazy because, like, especially with this Discord now, like, anybody in this Discord could message anybody, and I promise you they'd be positive to each other.
Yeah.
Just because that's what your fan base is, like, built around. It's
Exactly.
built around, like, have a dream and go towards it. Don't just wear somebody else down.
That's it, Steve.
All right, man. I appreciate it so much.
Yep, dude. Thank you for all the support.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for doing this. It'll be up tomorrow. So if you want to rewatch it, it'll be up.
Yes, sir.
The first episode went out today, so anybody watching in the chat, you guys can go and watch that. !YT if you want to watch that. But thank you, Callow, and I appreciate all the questions.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later, dude.
All right. See ya.
See ya. What a good guy, dude. Callow's such a good guy. Good questions. That was the end of the second episode. I know I've missed a lot in the chat. It's okay. What we've been doing is this talks with BLS. I invite somebody to come in. I'm going to start doing it every stream. You will be on my YouTube channel. This is something that I like doing, so I'm going to do this. The only thing you have to do is download Discord, and you got to get in Discord somehow. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like on it. The Discord link will be down in the description if you get people on YouTube want to come and do this. I'm going to start doing that at the beginning of all my streams. So if you guys want to be in the streams early, turn the notifications on. I always wait like 15-20 minutes to let people come in the chat, and then I'll pull someone into the Discord and we'll have a little chat. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like. Let me know what you think down in the comment sections, and I'll talk to you guys later. This has been your boy BLS. Peace out.